was just going to attack it when defending.
I think it's like...
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on. Just like the big man Ian Wright just said there, people deluded, I'm back again. If you're tuned in, thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Don't forget to comment in the live chat and comment after the video throughout the talking points we discuss. Now, I think I speak for the majority of Arsenal fans. Big up Declan Rice. We'll be happy to have you. Wonderful player. But where your transfer to Arsenal is concerned, we're probably bored, innit? We keep hearing the same things. You know, he wants to sign for Arsenal. He likes what Arteta's doing. Arteta likes him. We're willing to bid after the Conference League, etc. I just want to hear medicals. I want to see Sky Sports and the rest of the Indonos tracking his plane, his cab, etc., and signing for the football club, people. But this is what we've got to work with. You know, Declan Rice is the early poster boy of Arsenal's transfer window this summer. Sky Sports has said Declan Rice is Arsenal's primary target. Club struggling to agree on valuation. Now we know it's going to cost around 100 odd million. Check out the video I did yesterday. And again, all the Indonos seem to be saying conflicting thing. Again, we take everything with a pinch of salt until I's are dotted, T's are crossed. People are holding scarves on Arsenal.com. Anything can happen. Team news and ticks, which I can't lie, you know, based on his track record, he seems to have some sort of sources. He said, as of a couple hours ago, no offer for Rice had gone in from us, and that correlates to what the Guardian have said, is that while we're confident about getting a deal done, again, I went over that yesterday, check out the video, while the deal is moving closer, a deal hasn't, or better yet, a fee hasn't been agreed with either club. So if no deal has been agreed between the two parties, he can't have a medical, we can't progress where we're going. But hopefully it's the calm before the storm. Obviously these things take time. You know, the first bid is probably, I hope it is, but it's probably not going to be what West Ham wants. As you know, these are negotiations. As of a couple hours ago, no offer for Rice had gone in from us. It's inevitable one will come, but people are jumping the gun and hoping to be first. Fact. And again, that's very different to what Con Marble Halls is saying. Arsenal have submitted a bid for West Ham midfielder Declan Rice today, which was yesterday afternoon, thought to be a fee of 80 million with 10 million add-ons, taking it to around 90 odd. 90 Minute have said Arsenal and West Ham make breakthrough in Declan Rice talks. Arsenal have made a major breakthrough in their pursuit of Declan Rice after agreeing to pay West Ham more than 100 million for the England midfielder, sources have told 90 Minute. Rice has long been the Gunners' top summer target, but there had been a reluctance to meet the lofty valuation of the Europa Conference League winners, who are standing firm on their insistence that the 24-year-old will only be sold in excess of 100 million. Rivals Chelsea and Bayern Munich are circling. 90 Minute understands Arsenal pushed ahead in their bid to land Rice and have told West Ham they will pay more than 100 million to take the captain to North London. An official offer is yet to be made for Rice, but if Arsenal finalise the deal, as they are now expected to do so, the 24-year-old will become the most expensive English player of all time, surpassing Manchester City's deal for Jack Grealish and Real Madrid's summer move for Jude Bellingham, people. As we know, the chairman of West Ham recently confirmed they plan to sell Rice this summer, people, after promising better yet that they plan to sell him after staying at the club last summer. Allegedly, clubs across Europe have been looking at him. Arsenal have made the first move by indicating a willingness to meet West Ham's asking price, with Rice understood to be keen on a move to the Emirates. Progress in negotiations over Rice comes shortly after Arsenal made another major breakthrough, this time in talks with centre-back William Saliba over a new deal. Saliba's current contract has 12 months left to run. Apparently, he signed a 4-year deal with the option of a 5th, and that, like Nelson's, will be completed when they're back from their holidays, allegedly, people. Dharma Chef has spoken on a couple of things Arsenal. He said Arsenal continue to push to sign West Ham captain Declan Rice. Early indications suggest gap in valuation. Personal terms not expected to be a problem. Arsenal retain interest in Brighton midfielder Caicedo and Manchester City captain Gundogan. On Bayern Leverkusen's pursuit of Granit Xhaka, they are optimistic they can complete a deal for the Arsenal midfielder. Ideally, Arsenal want to have certainty over a replacement before sanctioning the move. So if we get Declan Rice or someone else over the line, Xhaka can progress his life and move back to Germany and play in the Bundesliga. Xhaka has a year left on his deal with the option of a further year. In relation to Balogun, talks have taken place between Arsenal and his reps over his future. After his season at Reims, where he has scored 21 goals in Liga, Balogun wants regular first-team football, interest from the Premier League and Europe, including RB Leipzig. Now, initially, I would love Balogun to get an opportunity. I'd love him to sign a new deal and maybe go out on loan and continue his development, because at 21, 22 years of age, you're still learning, and it's only been one standout season. Ideally, you'd want to sell him abroad because he wouldn't come back to haunt us until the inevitable, whether he goes to Inter Milan, AC Milan, Juventus now. He's been linked with Frankfurt, Monaco, Leipzig. There's a whole bunch of clubs. We all know it's a bit like Tammy Abraham to Roma. You know, you're going to take a player from the English market, take him to your place. If he plays and develops, which Tammy would have probably gone for a big move this summer had he not have suffered that injury, sell him back to the same market you brought him from. And that is the risk with Balogun. They all know that he carries resale value on top of obviously being able to help them immediately on the front. And it made me think, could it be worth selling him to a Premier League team? Because as you know, the gap between the Premier League and the riches that they earn and the rest of the other top four divisions, making a top 5 league in Europe, top 5 leagues in Europe, we're moving away. Everyone's got money. We're in a day and age where Bournemouth, with the greatest of respect, are going toe-to-toe with AC Milan to sign players. You know, so could it be worth selling him to a Premier League team because they're more likely to pay the demands of him? I just hope that in an ideal world, you'd love a buyback clause if that's able to do, just like with Charlie Patino. If not, we have to have a healthy sell-on clause, at least 10-20%, because Balogun will be sold for decent money. And we don't know, maybe Balogun goes on to have a season he's had now and go on and do better. And we look and think, oh, maybe he could have got an opportunity. If he struggles next season and he's not sold, Arsenal fans might say maybe we should have taken the money, so you can never really win, really. On Pepe, Arsenal exploring opportunities for the exits of Pepe and Cedric. Pepe is still the club record signing. As you know, him and Cedric are entering the last year of their deals, and we've made a decision. Pablo Mari's gone. Cedric and Pepe's days appear numbered. Xhaka has an option of another year, but it's come out there's been no contract offer on the table for Xhaka, so that probably tells you, unfortunately, his days are numbered. And now our shift begins to the 2025 contracts, which is actually the manager Mikel Arteta, Balogun, young Charlie Patino, Thomas Partey. So we'll have to watch that space very closely. I think on paper, Odegaard with the option of another year, maybe, don't quote me, Benjamin White as well. Arsenal and West Ham are edging closer towards an agreement for Declan Rice. Arsenal are understood to be exploring the possibility of bidding for Caicedo as well as Rice. Show me the money. Big up Stan Kroenke, because you saw last night another one of his teams, the Denver Nuggets, won the NBA championship and became NBA champions. You look at the Rams, the Colorado Avalanche, the Colorado Mammoth, and the Denver Nuggets. In the last year or so, they've all achieved sporting greatness. It'd be nice if a team that plays football in England does the same. Come on, KSE, man, get the money out and let's have a good season. Claret and Hugh, I like that name on words, has spoken on Declan Rice. 100 million plus bid from Arsenal for West Ham captain Declan Rice is believed to be imminent, while the club have received no official interest from the North Londoners. An offer is expected this week, and now we're at Wednesday, the halfway point. Rice's reps, led by his father, are thought to have already agreed terms with Mikel Arteta's side. Arsenal have not made official contact with West Ham yet, but it's believed the deal will happen quickly. Please. West Ham have been informed by Declan Rice of his decision to leave and stated that Arsenal was his preferred destination. As a result, both Manchester United and Bayern Munich have decided to look elsewhere to bolster their squad. An early resolution would be best for all parties concerned. With the summer transfer window upon us, 100 million Arsenal bid is expected imminently. Allegedly, the deal is understood to be guaranteed 90 million with 15 to 20 plus in performance-based add-ons. The final figure is below what the Hammers have demanded, but does involve a significant initial sum. Declan's insistence on joining only Arsenal has led to less competition and slightly lower fee, a bit like with Jesus. We're relying on the player to do their part. Given that circumstances, I think West Ham would do well to get close to a figure which could still be a British transfer record. If Declan Rice transfer is concluded as early as next week, it will allow the Hammers to crack on, and they've been linked with Ward-Prowse and Paulinho people as well. To be fair with you, I might drop these lot an email and see if we can do a video, really and truly, people. What do you lot reckon? Again, I don't really want to keep going over the same thing, people, but West Ham are willing to accept Arsenal's offer for Declan Rice, allegedly, people. Apparently, Bayern want to discuss him internally again today after a meeting with Hernandez, but still no offer yet. Bosses are skeptical. As we know, Arsenal are preparing a bid of 100 million plus potential add-ons, people. So everyone's correlating the same thing. Newcastle still have an interest in Kieran Tierney this season, people, and this summer, but the Magpies do not want to pay 30 million for the Arsenal defender. You should pay more. really and truly, because we have to give Celtic a sell-on clause. He's under contract for a decent amount of time until 2026. He is regular. He is of the ability to start on a regular basis in the Premier League, really. He just finds himself, the system has evolved and left him. We should be asking for more. The only thing you could say against Tierney is that his stock has fallen because he hasn't played and he does carry injury concerns. But Newcastle, come on now, you would charge us over 30 million if the shoe was on the other foot and we tried to buy Kieran Tierney. I don't blame you for wanting to get a deal, but forget that, people. 30 million is more than fair. Obviously, he plays for my club. I'm going to overprice him, but I think you're being done a favor, really and truly. We should up the rates. Apparently, expert confirms Arsenal A still wants transfer away, but Gunner's keen on buyback clause in relation to the young Charlie Patino, who really shouldn't be allowed to leave. But if the man wants to leave because he feels that's best for his development, then it is what it is. As long as we get a decent fee, a sell-on clause, and potentially a buyback, I'm all for that. Romano has said, I've had quite a few fans asking me about the situation with Charlie Patino. There was recent revelation he wanted to leave, and although it's gone quiet, my understanding is that the situation remains the same. He wants a new challenge and a permanent exit. We've got to remember the market is basically just open. Players are still on holiday. Things take time, people. From Arsenal's perspective, they would ideally like a buyback clause inserted into any potential deal for sure, which would make sense for us. Allegedly, Kai Havertz would be a level raiser in Arsenal's squad, according to Gene Jones. He said, if they're going to genuinely look to keep pushing up the levels of the squad, then Kai Havertz, I think, would do that. And we're looking at a situation where Arsenal obviously had an interest in Mason Mount when he had his situation on the line at Chelsea. Man United are probably going to beat them to that. But if Arsenal were interested in Mason Mount, then why wouldn't they be interested in Kai Havertz? There's obviously a distance between being interested in a player and actually being able to pull off a deal. But Kai Havertz might give you some value in this market, not for 75 million, as good as I think he is, or not, according to some fans. Gonyanto has been linked with Arsenal again, people. Yeah, I haven't heard anything that suggests Arsenal are definitely going to go down that path, but Gonyanto is one of the most exciting players to have been relegated from the Premier League this season, which is true. As a result, there should be a good market for him. He's been linked with Juventus and Inter Milan. I think the interesting thing he'll have to toss up is, does he stay in the Premier League or would he be interested in going to Italy? He's an Italian international. Early reports suggest there might be some interest from Juventus. I'm sure they wouldn't be the only ones because Gonyanto at times has been really, really sharp for Leeds. There could be a real good tussle to get his signature, people. We'll have to see how that goes. Zubiamendi has made clear he has no interest in joining Barcelona, allegedly, really. Let's see exactly what's been said. We've been linked with him, people. Apparently, he is more interested in inheriting Yara Mendy, who played for Sociedad and also Real Madrid's number 4, than Sergio Busquets is number 5 at Barcelona. Obviously, Sociedad, forgive me if I'm wrong, have qualified for the Champions League. He's a homegrown lad, probably going to have to activate his release clause. One minute he's linked with Arsenal, then he's not. Arsenal are keen on strengthening their midfield this summer with Declan Rice and Cancelo their top targets. Zubiamendi has been touted as a genuine alternative. Allegedly, we tried to get him in Jan, with backup options a necessity for Mikel Arteta in the summer market. Prizing him away could be a difficult one. He said, I've never planned to leave Real Sociedad. I always say that. I love life here at home. I'm so happy here. The value of this club are the same as mine, so I feel very good. I always say that I'm happy. And maybe, with a Euros to be in contention with for Spain, maybe staying at his club and stability could boost his chances of doing just that. Arsenal happy to take any offers for Nicolas Pepe with a year left. Anything's better than ripping up his contract, and we'll be lucky to get his wages in full off the wage bill and a transfer fee, if I'm honest with you. We all know this isn't exactly news, people, but any fee we can get and any resources we can salvage to help us get players in for decent wages and a decent fee, if we can get rid of the Pepes, the Cedrics, etc. of this world, we'll be doing all right, people. Apparently, talks between Arsenal and João Cancelo over potential move are progressing positively. Football transfers can reveal. According to our sources, talks between Arsenal and Cancelo's camp have progressed positively since May. Manchester City are asking for £45 million, 53 million euros. And you've also got to factor in the wages he'd be on. He'd probably be near, assuming they get these new deals over the line, the Sakas, the Martinellis, the Salibas, he'll be near the top end, but you have to pay the going rate and potentially Declan Rice as well. We understand Arsenal are set to launch an opening offer of 35 million in the coming days. Cancelo would become the starting right back at the Emirates. Fair enough. And Benjamin White could be cover. I mean, him and Benjamin White would rotate quite frequently. There's obviously the luxury of Benjamin White featuring a lot more frequently at centre half, people. So we'll have to see, really. But some reports sit here and say Cancelo is not interested in playing in the Premier League anymore, really. So we'll have to see. There are some doubts with regards to Arsenal. City sold Jesus and Zinchenko to the Gunners last season and inadvertently helped them turn them into title contenders. I mean, Pep Guardiola, as much as I want Arsenal to win stuff, we're no match for him, really. So yeah, I would love Cancelo at the carpet. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Clubs are waiting for Brighton to decide on the final price for Caicedo. From what I understand, says Romano, it could be close to 80 million. Chelsea and Arsenal are there. Chelsea are working behind the scenes on this Cancelo deal, but nothing has been agreed or advanced, people. On Gundogan, the agreement with Barcelona was verbal, and in the last few hours, the club have not sent a formal offer to his agent. City are trying to renew him on a one-year deal, and there's also interest from Saudi Arabia, and other Premier League teams. On Granit Xhaka, once again, Fabrizio has said Granit Xhaka is still prepared to join Leverkusen once Arsenal sign a new midfielder. Work in progress for Declan Rice. Still Arsenal confidence since last week. More to follow. So we'll have to watch that closely, people. Again, Arsenal already in a £35 million bid for Cancelo. Perez has confirmed our interest in Caicedo of Brighton. I hope he signs for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta wants him. He's got all the tools needed to succeed at Arsenal. The club are willing to pay big money for him, and that's a testament to his ability. Nelson has agreed a new deal at Arsenal, as we know. Allegedly, Juventus have put Chiesa up for sale in addition to Vlahovic, and he'll cost 60 million euros. Arsenal are trying to tie up Timothy Castagne. It appears he's a contingency plan to Ivan Fresneda or Cancelo, or maybe any other Arsenal player that Arsenal are linked with potentially that hasn't been named to the public. Were to place a bid for Declan Rice. We've heard all of this before, people. Aston Villa have signed Telemans. As you know, we've agreed a deal to renew Saliba's contract. Declan Rice propaganda, again, we'll be here all day saying the same things. We've got an interest in Kai Havertz. I would love Ivan Fresneda, who has a relegation release clause of 20 million euros. Bring him to the carpet, people. So it doesn't appear that there's anything new in that regard. So again, let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on Kick, Deluded Gooner, Twitch, Deluded Gooner, and obviously subscribe on YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. Check out the rest of the videos and check out my playlist where I put them all together, people. God bless you all. Hope you're having a great week. I'm out.
There's always just that active red light, defending.
I think it's like